What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my tiny garage. Welcome to part 2 of our heavy-duty Husky tiller barn find restoration, I guess you could call it. In the previous video, we had gotten the engine running and everything functions pretty well, but we were missing a few parts. So if you want to go back and check out that video, I will link that here for you. But our parts have arrived. We have a new drive belt and we have the tube for the tire. So the object in today's video is to put the belt on. To get our tire fixed, we need to clean out the tines from all the debris that's been wrapped up in there for goodness knows how long. And then I would like to take it out into my garden and give it a test to make sure it's all going to function right. If it's all going to function right, from there we can go ahead and power wash the entire thing, get it all cleaned up and ready for its new home. So let's hop over here and get this belt on. There's a little bracket back here that I went ahead and removed a while to get this belt off of here. And I also pulled the tire out a little bit, which was actually surprisingly loose. So that will help us aid and get everything going. Our pulley here is loose and well greased, so we still have life left in that. Take our new belt and get this back on here. There we go. We're going to check our adjustment. Looks like all is well there. Got plenty of spring pressure on that belt. Okay. So from here we can go ahead and just put our bracket back on. Which goes in here this direction, I suppose. And our belt rides in and under that. Helps keep the belt on from sliding off. Sure don't make it easy for those bolts to get in there with that belt in the way, I'll say that. But I think we're getting it. There we go. That just helps hold the belt on there from flying off the pulley when it's loose, and helps keep things on there the way it should be. I'm going to leave this side panel off for right now. There's old oil and stuff down under here that I would like to power wash off. So until we can power wash everything, I'm going to just leave this side panel off for right now until we get that done. So we'll have to do that a little bit later on. Let's go over here and address this tire next. I'm going to start with a little bit of WD-40 around this side of the bead. Help things slide on and off just a little bit easier. And then hopefully, without too much trouble, should be able to get this tire pulled off of here. The other one already has a tube in it, this one does not. We're gonna fix that today. Looks like we got a little bit of water in the tire. So let's see if we can't pull the whole thing off of here without dumping the water everywhere to get that fixed up. we go. Go scoop this water out, and then we'll be back. Got the tire all cleaned out from water. And we're just gonna go around and make sure that there's no dirt stuck to the wheel. There's no real rough spots, no crazy rusty spots or anything like that. So that's a good thing. And we have our tire, which is cleaned out. As best as we can from all the junk. So what we want to do next is cut this valve stem out. Get this out of here. Use a little bit of tire mounting soap and compound to get this one bead started and back on. And what we want to do first before we put the tire on is put some of this mounting compound on this wheel to help the tube slide on the wheel, which can be very helpful when you're trying to get the valve stem lined up with the wheel as you're trying to put it all together. So there we go, we got a little bit on there. Make sure our tire is going the correct direction, and just work this tire right back on there. So it's like that. Alright, we'll take our tube. And there is a right and a wrong way to put the tube in. And the way they come out of the packaging, there's a way to tell. But I'm going to be honest with you, from doing this quite a few times myself, I don't really trust that. Because I have taken them out of the package, put them in supposedly the correct way, and they were still the wrong way. And then you get to take the tire back apart with a full tube of air to fix it. So, what I like to do before I put the tire in, before I put the tube in, is I just like to put a little bit of air to it. And you'll see what I mean, how the valve stem is sticking out of this side and not this side. So if the valve stem is supposed to be sticking out in the wheel this way and we put the tube in this way, you can see it's going to be an issue. So we want the tube in this direction. So I'll go ahead and let the air out. I like to check that. Just a simple step to do. Doesn't really cost you much time, but I like to do it because that way I know that I'm putting it in the right way the first time. So then from here we just simply get our tube shoved in there. Which can be a little bit of a challenge. And then before we get it worked in too far, we want to stick the valve stem in and through the wheel hole. Like such. Now we can finish stretching this around and getting this tube worked into place. Alright, we got our tube in. So we're going to go and put some mounting compound on here now. And we want to start on the other side of the valve. So we want to start right there. So I'm going to take one bar. Be careful we don't pinch the tube. Hold that in here. And then we just start going around. There we go. Okay. Put our valve core back in. And then this is where you got to be careful that you don't push this valve stem back into the tire. So you can use a pair of pliers to hold that if you want. However, vice grips, we're just going to give it some air. So you'll hear some air coming out because there's air trapped in and around the tube. So you kind of want to let that all get out and equalize. Careful what you're feeling for. Don't get your fingers stuck in between the tire and wheel, but feel around, make sure it's all seated out. And we'll grab a pressure gauge and see what we got in there. It looks like 20 psi is the max on this. So let's go to, like, I don't know, somewhere around 15 to 18. There we go. All right, there's about 18. Very good. And there's our tire done. Simple as that, easy as that, very easy to do, straightforward, and with a little bit of struggle, you can certainly do it yourself at home too. Let's get this tiller flipped around and check out these tines underneath and get all this debris cleaned out. I guess while we're here, before we move stuff around too much, let's just check our motor oil and see how that's looking. Since we have our tire pressure set, yep, that's perfect right there. That's perfect. Just a touch bit full, but definitely I would not call that overfilled at all. That'll be just fine. Be just fine indeed. What a big mess we have under here. Looks like somebody went through some severe weed patches. For those of you with tillers at home, it's wise to keep this cleaned out, because if you don't, this is a good way to take out the seals on your transfer box. And that can be quite an expensive and extensive repair if you got to pull these tines off and they're rusted fast. We did an earlier video on this channel of a Honda that we changed those seals out on. It's a good example of what'll happen this isn't kept clean. And that was quite a job. So yeah, we got like steel wire and string and all kinds of stuff wrapped around this. Alright, finally, I think we got this all cleaned out. I believe, unless I'm forgetting something, I think we're ready to try this out in the garden. So let's get this down off the workbench and see what kind of a mess we can make here. We got everything in neutral. Oil's checked. Let's see if it's going to start up for us. Go on to choke. Give her some throttle. See what happens. Go about half choke. Well, everything here seems to be working as it should. It tilts fine, it runs fine. So let's go ahead and bring out the power washer and get this thing all cleaned up. And I think it's ready for a new home as far as I can tell. about as clean as I'm going to be able to get it. So I guess this would be a good opportunity to go ahead and put this side panel back on. Well, there we go. I guess this worked out pretty well for us here this time. It tills, it drives, runs good, it sounds good, and I think overall we have a very decent machine for somebody. The only thing that I have forgotten to mention there, I guess, is I had mentioned in part one, of course, that we needed to change out these boots, these rubber boots on here. I have them on order. They just didn't get here yet, and I kind of got excited and involved in the project here and kind of forgot about them. So I will get them put on, don't worry, but that'll be very simple. Just slip them on and off. Not really a whole lot to them, but as soon as that's done, I think then we're ready to send this machine down the road to a new owner. Thank you guys for stopping by to watch. I really do appreciate it. Of all the places you could have spent your time here, you chose to spend it watching this video, and I sincerely really do appreciate that. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know what you think of the machine. Do you have one of these types of tillers? They're pretty common. I like the counter rotating tine part. That for a big tiller is a must-have for me, because some of the other ones don't, and they will pull you across the garden if you're not careful, and I hate that. So the counter rotating tines, I'll just go ahead and throw that out there. Must have, smooth operating, love it. Hit that like button, it does help out the channel, and if you're not subscribed and like what you see here and want to see more of it, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss any future uploads that we have, and believe me, we have plenty more coming down the pipe. So that is all I got for this video. I will see you in the next one.